Her books are about the bride of Christ, preparing the church for the end of days, persecution, purity, and spiritual warfare. She even wrote a book revealing the pain and struggles of her own life called Testimony of a Broken Bride. Jesus is the true husband. Her books hope to help families make right decisions in the coming days about the mark of the beast and to choose Jesus over the beast system. Dr. June released 4 books this year about current day situations such as judgment, technology, tribulation days, and more. These 4 books released in April of 2020 after she left the White House and exposes what she knows about President Trump and the Antichrist agenda. These books reveal apostasy plus idolatry equals judgment and it's for the harvest. Dr. June reveals the great divide in the church in this hour due to the great deception. He explains what is the ecumenical movement, new apostolic reformation, and false religions, exposes the one world religion agenda. Dr. June exposes the new world order and satanic agenda. This book exposes the lie of the new apostolic reformation evangelicals who have surrounded the president and is partnering with the beast system. This book chronicles 40 days of repentance and casting down 40 idols in our nation and the church. This book reveals the biblical pattern of judgment and the current judgment. What is the pattern of God's judgment? Why does he judge? What is my role in this? This book discusses now that we know apostasy plus idolatry equals judgment. Where do we go from here? How do we prepare? What do we look for? What about technology? The human implantation chip, etc. So purchase the American Pod books today before they shut them down. Be alert, be informed, be equipped for the war ahead. Or go to www.gotreehouse.org and purchase all 10 of Dr. June's books today on sale. If you are interested in writing a book, please go to treehousepublishers.com. Thank you. You are cordially invited to the WATB Night Family Weekend Spring Conference on Easter Weekend 2021. We welcome you to 3 days of packed information, love, celebration and healing. On Friday morning, Dr. June will give a presentation on logos, symbols and branding. Friday afternoon, Mama June will share stories of faith and miracles. On Friday night, Dr. June Knight will speak about prophetic days to come and current day events pertaining to the White House, Great Reset, vaccine agenda, etc. Saturday morning, we will be live as a roundtable to discuss current day events. Saturday at 1 we will host a baby shower to welcome Samuel Knight. On Saturday after the baby shower, Steve and Deanna will share the latest information with the attendees. On Sunday morning we invite you to the First We Are the Bride Ministries Church Easter Resurrection service at 10 in the morning. Sunday after church, Rock and Laura will be training. So come one and come all, the Knight Family Farm welcomes you. Remember Curly? Ha ha. Moo moo moo. We love you all and invite you to our family reunion weekend. For more information go to wearethebride.us. News today from WATB.TV with your host tonight, Dr. June Knight.
Hello, Bride. Good afternoon. I am so excited to be with you again. Listen, I think it's only appropriate that I have in my intro now the sound of the bells, because that is, Bride, that is what I feel like is happening right now. It's like the warning bells are going off for the end time scenarios that we have facing us today, Bride. It is just one thing after another. But I had to go live with you today to tell you, Bride, President Trump has finally announced this next endeavor that he is going down, which is just terrible on every level to what this means to the real church. But here it is. President Trump is going to make his own social media platform. And some of you might think, oh, well, that's okay. Well, he's also talking about doing his own television. So he is going to take over the media, Bride. And let me just explain to you what this means on a communications level, okay? By him doing this and pulling people into this, and he'll be telling everybody, oh, all you conservatives, all you Christians, you need to be on here and leave all them other terrible media organizations, and you need to come over here. Bride, I see trap all over it. Because I have been showing you in the news, in my different broadcasts, how he has been setting the church up. It's been one thing after another. And what they're using him for is to lure the church in so they can identify who the extremists are. I told you on the news yesterday about how when he said he was going to drain the swamp, he did not drain the literal, the liberal swamp. No, they're draining the Christian swamp. They're draining the conservative swamp. Those people that followed his command on 01, 06, they're all going down the pike. They're all in trouble now. We're talking on terrible levels, like FBI type of levels, and like 6 different charges. And if any of you watched that, it was such a setup from hell. It really was. Because you have all these people out there at the Capitol. Now, we know that the vice president was there. We know you don't go, when you know Washington protocol, you don't go near the president. You don't go near the vice president. I mean, the Secret Service is on them. Like, I don't know what, there's so much distance. Like, I'll tell you this without revealing actual protocol at the White House, because we have a lot of things that we have to know that we can't tell the public, but I think I can tell you this and be pretty safe with it. Everywhere the president goes is like a walking historical document. He is documented, Bride. He is documented in the clothes he wears, the people he talks to, what rooms he goes in. Everything about the president of the United States is documented. So when he's in the White House, we know as the press where he's at just about, because of the way that we understand how they told us to learn the codes. But I can tell you one thing that's pretty public. When the president comes towards the front of the house, or if he's going to come out near the back, like where the public is, where you have like your fence and all these people that take pictures out there, honey, the Secret Service has went out there as fast as they can, and they moved everybody back. You get back now, or you'll get shot. It's like, you don't mess with them. And so when they say that the vice president of the United States is in this building and he is speaking, there's no way you're going to enter that building. And when you watched it on video, those military officers or whoever that was out front just gets out of the way and lets them go in. That is such a farce. That is such a false flag, terrible setup because of what they did afterwards. And what they did afterwards is using this man as an example to rip the church apart, to come after the church. He is being used for that. And if I can scream it from the mountaintops and tell the church, listen, do not get involved in all this stuff that he's doing, because it is leading you to the slaughter. I don't know how else to be more bold about it. I mean, seriously. Because let me just tell you this. Okay, I do websites for a living. Okay, when you have a website like a social media, okay, you have all rights to everything that is said on there. Everything that is said, every piece of data that is released on that website, like what we put on Facebook, is not public. Facebook owns the rights to every picture, every video we put on there, every piece of data we put on there. They have the rights to it. They own that website. It is not a government public free speech zone. It is owned by people who have a right, even though we yell about censorship. The only reason I yell about censorship is because if you're going to have a rule, that's fine. It's your site, but be fair about it. Come on now. I mean, if you're going to tell me I can't speak up against the V, but yeah, you see people on there all day long doing it and they're not punished. Well, I mean, see, that's all I'm saying. But when you own a website, every piece of data, every picture, everything is calculated. To me, if you join this website, you are joining the beast on a stick. And that's what I'm going to label it, beast on a stick. Because they will be gathering every thought and they will even know how to move. Okay, you take the swarms, the way that those fish do in the ocean, you know, and that the swarm fish, I guess that's how you call them. I don't know, but you know, they kind of swim together and they know how to move. That's exactly what this is for. That's exactly what this is for. Because they will be able to gauge everything you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing, everything. They already can do it now, but he don't own it. This man wants to be the top of the mountain. So that's all this is. Okay, first of all, he will own everything about you that you submit. They will direct the narrative. The way that we have seen social media direct the narrative, the way they will literally shut down. They will shut down certain voices. They will make sure certain people's stuff don't get shared because they don't want it shared, etc., etc. You talking about controlling the everlasting narrative. Let me tell you all this. We think these people right now, we think they are the Trump cult just because they're so devoted that it's a vomitous devotion. It's like they're so devoted that they can't put God first. You know, it's the dangerous level, but you ain't seen nothing. You have not seen nothing yet until this takes place. Because when you've got everything in one image, here we go, the image of the beast. When you've got everything in one box that is all centered around one man, they will, you ain't seen devotion yet until most people follow the masses. Most people follow the masses. They will not go against the tide. All it takes, this, I see danger, danger, danger with this. So you take the media, the way they're going to control the narrative, the rights to all the pictures, the rights to all of your data. They will gather in other words, to me, it's almost like they're going to feed that, I don't want to say vomit, but that spirit. I don't know how to explain what it is I'm seeing, but it's like, okay, let's back up a minute. Okay. President Trump, before the election, has this movie come out called Trump 2024 film. Before the election even happened, saying, oh, if we didn't have President Trump, the world would go into utter chaos. You know, the way that he didn't support the LGBT, you know, them old Democrats, they would just be supporting the old LGBT, and, you know, Trump just never did that. And it would just be such a terrible world like that. Yeah. I was like, vomit me a river, people. You are lying through your everlasting teeth. I know exactly what he did and what you did with him. So anyways, that was before the election. Then, right after the election, is when he just kind of bowed low. And then before they even announced for sure that it was Biden, they immediately started putting Biden in as president. So he rose up and boy, he started showing everything. And I'm going to change this, and I'm going to put this LGB in charge, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And, you know, Trump just laying there like letting this man just steamroll the media. So here's Trump turn around telling everybody, oh, I'm fighting this. And, you know, the Supreme Court is not going to support me. All these people out here are crooked. And, you know, they just shut me down off Twitter. They just shut me down off Facebook. Them mean old social media shutting me down, trying to shut my voice down. It was all a farce. It was an everlasting farce. This whole thing, Brad, because they had him shut down, which, by the way, they're stripping the internet of a lot of his stuff, just to let you know. And then he is going to turn around 6 months later and have his own social media. Something else. It'd probably be Trump platform. Trump. It'd probably be something in his name. Trump social media, or the Trump buzz, or the Trump bird, or something. But 6 months later, he's going to have his own voice. And look what happened. Okay, so here we go. All right, so Trump, I'd say the last 6 weeks before 0106, blasting everybody's emails. We got to do something. Even Don Jr., we got to do something. They are stealing the election. You know, you got to stop the steal, and we got to do something about it. And we got to take our country back, and we're being taken over. And all these evil people, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they all believe what this man is saying. So they show up at 0106. And then he gets out there on the platform and tells them, y'all go over there to the Capitol and I will meet you over there. They go over there. The big debacle happens. He's nowhere to be found. He just kind of sits back, and they go over there. And I guess, I don't know who, because I don't want to be labeled that I said all this, but whoever it was advanced. Whoever it was moved out of the way. The other ones advanced. The other ones just was able to break in. It was such an everlasting joke. The whole thing. When you watch the video, you're like, what? Is that not the craziest? I mean, you can't make this stuff up, you know? And then we do know that it was the LGBT that helped to lead the charge, along with that Women for Trump, which is dangerous as well. Women for Trump, along with the LGBT, they all work together, along with Don Jr. And then they are going to turn around as soon as it happens. This LGBT group turns around and tells all the conservatives, well, you know, this woman that got shot was shot by a white man. And what are you going to do about it, conservatives? What are you going to do about it? It's almost like because I knew that it was the LGBT that was setting them up. And I warned everybody, do not do this. It is a setup. As soon as they did it, what? There's no LGBT flags out there after y'all making such a farce about it, such a big trying to get all of these cornbread country boys out here to come out here and riot and act stupid, and you're just pushing them. Yeah, go, yeah. Come on, don't let them stop this deal. And then get up there and leave them hanging, and you have no signs to show you was there. I'm telling you, Brad, it was a setup against the church. I feel like I am just screaming out there. Does anybody hear me? Does anybody see what I'm saying? I'm telling you, Brad, I have been following this thing every day. All right, so now, okay, I know what he was doing with the law. Okay, he was doing the 1776 commission right after he signed the Abraham Accords, which is what y'all know. I believe that was the final straw of biblical prophecy. That Abraham Accords was it. I did a whole 9-hour show on the Abraham Accords. This man has been working with the globalists against our country, and he still is. Okay, so then this little commission, which was all led by non-Christians in the spirit of Antichrist, was released when Biden got in. As soon as Biden got in, he got the report and shut the commission down. He got what Trump had prepared the way for. Okay, so then now Trump's acting like, oh, he's fighting all them, and it's just terrible. And he finally, he did concede. I am making this public announcement. That man conceded. Because these evangelical pastors who are trying to get everybody to riot again, the same ones that partnered with Kanye, which I was telling everybody was a farce, that was unholy in all its ways. God never does. God does not act like this, people. He does not act like this. God does not cuss himself, and this man cussed God. And the evangelicals, I'm an evangelical, and it just makes me so sad because they have just went off the complete deep end. Now, okay, another thing you got to consider about this social media, they are the ones that will be pushing it and will be the main voices on there. So what are you going to be doing? I mean, I hear from you, Bride. I hear from you how you talk to your family. You are trying to get your family to see, and they will be just about there when they can see the truth of this man and they watch Fox News one time and bam, they're right back out there. They go right back under that spell. It is terrible in every level. So if you take these people that can be swayed so easily, you put them in a social media network where everybody will be in one accord and everybody will be in one consciousness. You have not seen the persecution yet. Bride, it is coming. It is coming. And I want to tell you something else. I received some emails from him this morning. These emails, I'm like, how can the church, okay, we might have been snowed the first year or two, but when we started seeing him partner with the LGBT and start bringing all the vomit from the Democratic Party over into the Republican Party, and we're going to sit and partner with the vomit. What is wrong with us that we can so easily just compromise like this? There is no man, no king worth compromising the gospel of Jesus Christ. The Lord does not mix, and that's exactly what this is. This is ecumenical. I've been telling you for a couple of years now about the ecumenism, which comes from the Pope, by the way. But they Oh, so let me show you these emails. Okay, let me get my. All right, let's see here. Let me just read you a couple of them. This man is on a roll, and to me, his language is getting worse. Because you know that the Bible says, out of the mouth, the heart speaks. All right, let's see here. Let me find my little search tool. Oh, he may have it right here when he's announcing about the social media. Here we go.
Aren't you busy enough? Do you have the time every day to manage all the social media accounts for your business? And do you know all the ins and outs of how each different social media platform works? Well, we do. Here at PH Social Media, our team of professional social media experts will help you manage all your social media platforms every day. Focus is one of the most important keys to being successful. So focus on running your business and let a full-time professional social media studio handle all your social media marketing. We'll handle all of the creative, all of the writing, and publish all this content to your social media accounts. We offer 3 simple price plans for you to choose from. There are no contracts, so you may cancel or switch plans at any time. Book online now, and we'll start working on your business immediately. And within 48 hours of receiving your order, our creative team will get in touch with you to implement our full service program.
I thought that was the thing for the president, and it wasn't. So hold on here. Oh, here it is. Okay. Former President Trump will be back on social media in the near future with his own service, according to one of his senior advisors. Trump was banned from Twitter following the January 6th Capitol riots. He had been a prolific poster on that platform before and during his presidency. I do think that we're going to see President Trump returning to social media in probably 2 or 3 months here with his own platform, Trump's senior advisor, Jason Miller, told Fox News on Sunday. And this is something that I think will be the hottest ticket in social media. It's going to completely redefine the game, and everybody's going to be waiting and watching to see what exactly President Trump does. Miller said he was unable to provide much more in terms of detail at this point, but he did reveal that Trump has been having high-powered meetings, I'm sure he has, at Mar-a-Lago with various teams regarding the venture, and that numerous companies have approached Trump. This new platform is going to be big, Miller said, predicting that Trump will draw tens of millions of people. In the meantime, Miller said that Trump will continue to endorse Republican candidates, teasing one of them's expected. Okay, so here's the thing as well, Brad. You know, Trump has been hurting for money, they're saying. Okay, this could be a gold mine, because you've got millions of conservatives and Christians that are looking for a social media, and he has the money to put it together. Okay, then all of the advertising and the people coming to him for the to be able to advertise. I mean, can you just see how big this can end up being? Okay, so I still want to read you them emails though, if I can find them. Let's see. Brad, I'm still trying to figure out this Mac. I'm on the Mac, so hold on a minute. Yay. All right, here we go. I'm learning that on a Mac, you swipe. You do things by swiping in your finger. It's a whole different world than the regular PC. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to read you just a few of his emails lately. I'm like, what the world? All right, here we go. I guess I can let you see my email. I can open this up to you. Let me see here if I can get it over there. All right, let's see here. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Bam. All right, now you can see all my emails from him. Okay, here we go, Bride. Here we go, bride. You're so beautiful, bride. All right, let's see here. I want to try to do something. Okay, here we go. All right, hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Here's the first one. Congratulations to Julia Letlow on her big win in Louisiana. Despite running in a field with a dozen candidates, no runoff election is necessary because she received 65% of the vote. An incredible victory. All right, let's see the next one. Okay, that's about her as well. All right, here we go. March the 20th. Well, where's the other ones from today? Oh, it must be on his other email. Okay, well, let's look at this one then. The New York Times did a story today saying that various Republican groups, many of them outstanding, are rallying on false claims that conservative activists are finding the best way to raise money and keep voters engaged is to make Donald J. Trump's biggest fabrication, election fraud, their top priority. Sadly, the election was rigged, and without even going into detail, of which there is much, totally game-changing. Democrats could not get Republican legislatures in swing states to approve many of the voting changes which took place before the election, which is mandated under the Constitution of the United States. Okay, first of all, let me just say this. When Trump got in, our biggest fear was that Obama was going to do the same thing. Do y'all remember? We did not want Obama sticking his mouth in there, interrupting everything President Trump was going to do. And although that he did stay in Washington, that we was all upset about, okay, he did not do this, which is constantly give his opinions about the president and what he was doing and to keep everybody stirred up. But this is what he's doing. So let's keep going. For that reason alone, we had an illegitimate election. Okay, I got to tell you something, Brad. Him continuing to say that is terrible on the church, because I'm talking about on the, not just the church, but anybody who believes in him, really. The conservatives and the church, because the left, this is what they are using to hang them with in the charges with 0106. When you listen to their discussions on the World Economic Forum, in other words, by President Trump keeping everybody stirred up like this, it is causing them to have an excuse on how to come after us and to stifle us. Do you hear what I'm saying? The Supreme Court and other courts were afraid to rule. They were gutless. and will go down in history as such. No wonder so much money is being raised on this issue, and law-abiding people have every right to do so. So he is making an excuse on them raising all that money. It's so sad with all this money that's happening in our country right now, with them giving away all our money, and we have all these starving people. All right, let's see here. He's given his endorsement for Letlow. What they are saying, the Washington Post fake Georgia call story. Okay, so he gave all the different medias on what they said was wrong. All right, March 15th, the Washington Post just issued a correction as to the contents of the incorrectly reported phone call I have made with respect to voter fraud in the great state of Georgia. While I appreciate the Washington Post correction, which immediately makes the Georgia witch hunt a non-story. What the world? Which, by the way, hey, I want to point this out about President Trump, is that if you notice in all of the different witch hunts that he said has come against him, okay, you had the Mueller report and you had 2 impeachments and all this stuff. Almost every one of them did not come to fruition. Almost every one. So you can think that for what it is, type of deal. Okay, so you will notice that establishment made media errors, omissions, mistakes, and outright lies always slant one way, against me and against Republicans. Meanwhile, stories that hurt Democrats or undermine their narratives are buried, ignored, or delayed until they can do the least harm. For example, after an election is over, look no further than the negative coverage of the vaccine. What? That preceded the election, and the overdue celebration of the vaccine once the election had concluded. A strong democracy requires a fair and honest press. Oh man, so now that is what he's going to say on why he is starting his own press. Bride, this is so much like Hitler. It is so much like Hitler. He demonized the press, and then he turned around and started his own. And then to say that about the vaccine, that tells you he is really not for the conservatives, Bride. He is not for the Christians. And yet we will give our life for him. It's really sad because the true Christians will not be a part of this agenda, and they know it, which is why he pulled Paula White in from the beginning, because they knew what was coming years ago. And they pulled in the people that they knew needed to seal the deal. You've got to understand his history. When he needed to close the Trump Towers, he knew that he could not do it without the Chinese. So what he did is he hired this woman who did this occultish thing to the building. I forgot what it was called, Feng Shui or something. But where she did all these, she knew what spirits were where, and she was able to control the spirits. He did that to seal the deal. And the same thing now to seal the deal with the peace deal, and now what they're doing with the New World Order. He sealed the deal when he got the church in. We was the hindrance to him having the art of a deal. You have to understand this, Bride. Because let's all just go back in Obama's days, before Trump even came along. Now, if we knew whoever would have done that peace deal, that was it. We knew the peace deal was the last piece of biblical prophecy we was waiting on. And if he would have done that, or if he would have, well, a lot of things that President Trump did, if Obama did it, we would have threw a big fit. So they knew. That's why I don't think Obama, I am swaying more that it is Trump. But if it was, I used to think it was always Obama that was the AC. But Obama, the church, there's not the deception there because the church doesn't believe in him. So it has to be somebody that the church falls for, worships, just falls for it and obeys no matter what they do. That's exactly biblical. That's exactly what the Bible says, how the Antichrist is, much less all of the other things, which at our conference on when we do that conference here in a couple of weeks on my Friday night session, I'm doing a whole Friday night session on all of this. So it'll be really good. Okay, so let's see here. All right, let me look at that one that he just come out with today. This is the one that I read you the other day where he said, I fully support the Republican Party and important GOP committees, but I do not support rhinos and fools. And it is not their right to use my likeness or raise funds, which the way that he talks. Okay, so let's do office of the 45. All right, here we go. Here it is. This is the one that I wanted to show you from today. Okay, so let me read it. Okay. Statement. Okay, first of all, I just want to tell all of you that I've been teaching about the logos. I want you to look at his logo again. I want you to look at it and I want you to pay attention to it, because there's a few things that I want you to notice. Okay. I just noticed this today. All right. So I want y'all to notice something. Okay. First of all, the president's new logo is called an office. This is the 45 office. And remember, we talked about how this is the first time ever we have all of these new offices. We have the executive office of the president of the United States. We have the executive, the office of this and the office of that, the office of the second gentleman and all this. Okay, now we have the office of an ex-president. This has never been done. Okay, so you have the office of Donald J. Trump, not President Donald J. Trump, right? Excuse me. And then he uses the presidential seal, right? But what do you see that's funny about that seal? I was looking at it today. I was like, what? Okay, first of all, we have the office of is done in a circular pattern, correct? Okay, and we have the office of on the top is done in the circle, but his name is flat. Most of them would just do the office of and then just do Donald J. Trump around. You see what I mean? The office of Donald J. Trump, just like it would be the seal of the president of the United States. It would just be all the way around, but it's not in this case. And I don't think that's an accident, because the office of with the two circles we have discovered is like the circular economy. Do you see what I'm saying? The circular economy, the office of the circular economy. All right, I'm just throwing this out there. This is just something I noticed today. But Donald J. Trump's name is by itself in a bigger font. And on the bottom of this, he is the foundation of this. This is to me, this is the new thing. It's, first of all, it's in black and white, which we know is like a Masonic Illuminati deal. It's black and white. And what else does it reflect, Brad? We'll talk about this more on that Tuesday morning class when we have our logos class for the conference. But it's in black and white. What else does that mean? Black and white would mean that it is neutral, binary, no color, not man, not female, not of any specific country, maybe. It's generic. So dominant, that's a good word for it, Heather. Black and white means it's dominant. And the fact that it has 3 stars underneath it. And it has one big fat star right there underneath it, right there. So anyways, we're going to go on and read that. She's asking, is that a crystal ball on the top? Well, no, it's actually like the presidential seal. But one thing I can't help but notice is how close this looks to Baphomet. Because you have the 2 horns and the false light is right there in the middle. And the only reason I'm saying that, Brad, is because of the Abrahamic Accords coin that we examined. Remember the false light that come out of the handle of the sword like this? Remember it had that right there on the tip was the false light that pointed into this new 4th industrial revolution, which is where we're at right now. So there's so much to that logo, it's not even funny. So let's read what the president wrote today. We proudly handed the Biden administration the most secure border in history. All they had to do was keep this smooth running system on autopilot. Instead, in the span of just a few weeks, the Biden administration has turned a national triumph into a national disaster. They are in way over their heads and taking on water fast. The pathetic, clueless performance of Secretary Mayorkas on the Sunday shows today was a national disgrace. Yeah, he called it pathetic, making fun of one of our leaders. His self-satisfied presentation in the middle of the massive crisis that he helped to engineer is yet more proof he is incapable of leading DHS. Even someone of Mayorkas' limited abilities should understand that if you provide catch and release to the world's illegal aliens, then the whole world would come. Now, see, here's what I see with this, okay? I see this as Trump is coming back. It may not be as president, but he's coming back as something. And he is showing his millions of followers that this administration is just hideous, which it is, don't get me wrong. I mean, I hear, you know, what people are thinking, you know, just because they're liberal and because they have partnered with the UN, but he is making it look worse than all that. He is making it look like they're a bunch of blooming idiots, you know, like he right here, the pathetic national disgrace. Okay, and they are incapable of leading. Even someone of Mayorkas' limited ability should understand that if you provide catch and release to the world's illegal aliens, then the whole world will come. Furthermore, the Mayorkas gag order on our nation's heroic border agents and ICE officers should be the subject of an immediate congressional investigation. So does this sound like he may be inciting the people again? Does this have that type of rhetoric? Does it, Brad? But it's clear they are engaged in a huge cover-up to hide just how bad things truly are. The only way to end the Biden border crisis is for them to admit their total failure and adopt the profoundly effective, proven Trump policies. See, there you go. They may immediately complete the wall, which can be done in a matter of weeks. They should have never stopped it. They are causing death and human tragedy. In addition to the obvious, drugs are pouring into our country at record levels from the southern border, not to mention human and sex trafficking. This administration's reckless policies are enabling and encouraging crimes against humanity. Our country is being destroyed. All right, Brad, let me tell y'all something. What this man is doing right here is dangerous on so many levels. Because, all right, let's sit back and let's look at one of his followers. Let's look at their mindset. Okay. Let's look at the average American country-fed, corn-fed boy. And he is patriot to the everlasting bone. And he believes everything that Fox News has said. And he's all about his gun rights, and he's all about his rights of free speech, and he loves his country. He's just a country good boy. And then he has a president who he thinks just fought for them, and he lost that race. And now this evil empire is taking over the country. And now this same president is telling you they're a bunch of blooming idiots, and they are just crazy, and they're reckless, and this country's being destroyed, and these are crimes against humanity. Bride, put yourself in this man's shoes in his house who loves, hey, I'm from the country. I'm going to tell you something about some country fed boys. I have two myself. I can tell you something. They are the ones that have the guns, which I'm going to tell you right now, this is why he's doing this, because the UN wants the guns. So I believe they are using him to incite the gun owners. Not only that, let's just look at the NAR who is trying to get everybody out there, get them riled up, getting them to rally and to stand. Remember, I showed you on the show the other night, this stand movement. It's everybody involved with this man is wanting people to get up and stand and use their guns and do something about this. But it's always set up, Bride, because the UN wants your guns. So the very man that has all the gun followers is speaking this harmful rhetoric again. Now he's going to start a social media where you can go full throttle into everything you are thinking about Biden. Can you imagine? I'm going to start calling this social media the Angry Birds. This social media is going to be the Angry Birds media. I can't even imagine the way that his followers have trashed me and the way that they will just call me names so quick. I'm talking Christians, and they will be so quick to just rip me and shred me. I just tell them, you sound just like him. I mean, you talk just like him. So you can't imagine putting a website with all these angry birds in there, because I mean, it's not their fault. Let me just preface it with that. Let me just say that these people have been conditioned for this. They have been prepared for what's about to hit. And it's sad. It is really sad because we're all patriots. Hello. We all love our country. You know, it's just that some of us love God more than we love country, and love God more than we love a man. And we choose to honor God before we honor somebody who's going to cuss our God. So this is going to be terrible, Brad. I implore you to talk to your family about this new social media. Please tell them not to get on this thing, please. And I'm telling you, I would tell everyone that listen, I'm telling you right now, everybody that's in your circle, if they take a picture of you, don't you dare put it on that network. Don't you dare put my image on that network, period. I don't want to be on there. I don't want you to do a show on there. I don't want nothing having to do with my image or my person in that. Because who knows, that they may be creating some technological image of you. I don't know, but you need to talk to your family, because that is an everlasting setup on a stick. But yeah, so here's what I was saying about him being back. Thank you, Sooners. I believe that all of this is happening right now, and him coming in and chiming in every now and then and telling everybody what a terrible thing that is that they're doing. Oh, it's so terrible. It's so terrible. I was so much better. All you people out there, you just need to pay attention because I was such a better president. And then he's going to end up coming back and everybody's going to be like, oh, I missed you so much. What can I do to serve you? What can I do? I will be so loyal. That's what I see happening. That is what I see happening. And I believe it was meant to be this way. I believe that. I believe it was meant to be this way. He wanted everybody to get a taste of this administration so that when he comes back, or his daughter, hey, it may not be him, it may be his daughter. Whatever Trump comes back, they will be loyal to the bone. Okay, wait a minute, hold on. I just had another thought. Whoa. Okay. What about this scenario? Let me throw another scenario out there. What if Trump does not come back as the president of the United States? Because remember, they've already got the budget all the way for 10 years. So what do we need with another president? They've already lined this country up for the next 10 years. What if? All right, well, here's the scenario. Okay, what if President Trump comes back as the new zone? He's the zone director. He's the UN zone president of the Americas. Okay, and because America was so terrible at racial justice, they were just terrible, and they were terrible at climate change, and they were terrible at the way that they treated me. So what we did is we just did away with the Constitution, and we just kind of put since we're all there and we don't have to worry about the border and all the things that we have to, since we've had to modernize all our data and everything, we just come together as one big America. And I'm the president now. So since all of y'all love me, you won't care. I mean, look, we love the UN. Okay, we're just all one big world. And I've been telling you all that we've got to be as one. That's why I had to have you all vaccinated. I had to, because we just have to be one. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be a new zone here. We're going to be in this new UN zone. And now let me tell you the perks that's going to happen, because now I'm the head of that. Oh man, all of you, it's going to be great. I'm the greatest there ever was. Y'all think that sounds far off, but it may not be. This logo that we're looking at right here may be a significance of that. That may be where we're going. And so, okay, let's see if I read all this. Okay, I did. So he said, our country is being destroyed. It is being ruined. All right, let's see. I can't read y'all the ones I get from the White House. All right, let's see. Oh, it's the same thing. Okay. Y'all keep this to yourself. Shh. Be quiet. Here we go. Here we go. I guess that's all I have from the office of the 45. Most of them come through that Save America type of deal. Okay, here's some. Let's see what we got here. All right. Biden is going in the absolute wrong direction. Trump had it right at the border. Biden's got it wrong. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. All right, so he praises the 45th president. All right, let's see what this one is. The same thing. All right. All right, well, I guess that's all. Okay, so let me go back over here. All right, let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, where did he go though? Okay, let's see. Okay, back to Fox. All right, here we go. All right, Bryce, what do you think? 2 or 3 months and we'll be having his new social media. Oh, it's Jason Miller, huh? Senior advisor to the 45th president, Jason Miller, said President Trump will be returning to social media in 2 or 3 months with his own platform that will completely redefine the game and attract tens of millions of new users. So I see so much with this, Bride, because can you imagine all of Trump's talking heads? Uh-oh. It was on the wrong one, sorry. But can you imagine all of Trump's talking heads and all of his media people together in one place? And all of the false church. Okay. The false church that'll be on there agreeing with everything he says. So this literally could be, hey, they may even call it one. They may call the social media one. We are one. Or they may call it the Great Awakening. Or they may call it bridge, the Trump bridge. You know, I mean, who knows what they're going to call it, but you can imagine how everything is going to be controlled. The media, the advertising, oh my goodness, the advertising that will be on there. And hey, this is another reason that's going to be scary to be on there is the AI. It will be AI on an everlasting stick. So we already know about Facebook with what they're wanting to do in your brain and all the stuff, you know, having to do with social media, but he will probably, what I predict is he will mix it with television. That will be his television network. If you think about it, Brian, that is how he talked to the people, is through his Twitter. So, that's what I see. So I see like all of these people that are caving right now and partnering with him in order to, convince everybody, like all these ministers. Hold on. My lips are dry. All these ministers that are caving and partnering with him are probably promised a TV show on there. And they'll be on there and they'll be able to do their thing. And as long as they pull everybody towards Trump. This is the saddest news, Brad, because I can just see how this could be done and how terrible this will be. Yes, the NAR is going to be involved on a stick. Okay, let me just give you some scenarios that I can see that's going to be terrible. I can see them having prayer meetings across the entire social media to pray for President Trump in a unison, like a worldwide consciousness. And what that will be to get the humans to come in agreement with this agenda. I can totally see this, because when you watch that show, The Family, which is on Netflix, I wish I could show you the commercial, but I can't because they'd shut it down. But you've got to watch that little mini series, because it talks about how they can all partner together as one under one saying. All you have to do is say the name of Jesus and everything is fine. It doesn't matter what sin you do. It doesn't matter what you're involved with. If you're an axe murderer or whatever, just come to the meeting and just say it's all right in the name of Jesus. Just say the name Jesus. And then it's like a breaker of the barrier. And it's terrible. But this is how these evangelicals can do this stuff. And you think, how crazy. I mean, how can they just partner with this evil like this? It's because of their mindset is warped. Their mindset is, just it's warped is the only way I can think of it, because they are got it set in their mind that what they're doing is right, but really it's a reprobate mind, because the Bible says that if you convince yourself long enough that you're right, where you have reason within yourself that sin is right, that God will put you over to a reprobate mind, because you're beyond reasoning. You're just in a pride level beyond terribleness, So anyways, this whole thing is a debacle. It's going to be terrible, because you think listen, this is something else. Think about your friends. If they get on there, they're done for. They are done for, because they will be hit every which way but loose in every way that you communicate. I wish I could give you what I know about communications industry, Brad, because this whole thing that I'm talking about is me. I was the first class to learn social media in college, and I was in grad school. It was so new, they didn't even know how to teach it. They had to make it up. So I was with this thing from the very beginning, and I'm telling you, what they're getting ready to do is terrible on every level, because when you're trying to market to someone, you learn you have to get their loyalty. It's called brand loyalty. Once you get their loyalty, they're stuck. That's it. If they buy Crest all the time, it will take an act of God to get somebody to start buying another type of toothpaste. Because once they get loyal to a brand, that is it. And that is how it is with President Trump. He is trying to get their loyalty. Once they do, they will die for him. So this is what's happening. But if you're on there and let's say you're just browsing and you just want to talk to your niece, and then an advertisement pops up because they heard you talking on the phone. Do you hear what I'm saying? They heard you talking on the phone, so this advertisement talks right back to you. And so it says, hey, June, if you sign up with President Trump today, to be on the prayer team, that I'm sure they are going to design everything around the church on this social media. And they're listen, I can see this so terribly. They are going to lie to the church to a terrible degree. There's no telling how they're going to design this to make them think that he is so righteous and holy. So they will probably have a prayer thing on there, and they'll have where you can share scriptures. And, he doesn't care. He just wants you to stay out of his way, people. And this, I'm telling you, oh, God help us how they're going to design it. Because these people that get on here and they don't understand how the mind works with advertising and all this, they're going to get sucked in the matrix, sucked right in there, right into that. And it's going to be very sad because I saw it when I was in the White House, how they did the church. I'm talking about, I look at everything, Bride, as the whole. In case you haven't figured it out, I look at things as a whole, the church as a whole, the body of Christ as a whole. So what they did was they began bringing big leaders in, the catalysts, the big dogs into the White House. And then they would have them share pictures of them singing and worshiping and praising in there. And then that went viral. Oh, man, we have got a president that is letting people pray in the White House. This is just amazing. I just love him so much. And then we get loyal. And so that spread around. And then they started pulling them in for once a month meetings, where they would allow them to call into the White House and actually talk to the White House, where the faith team would talk to them and tell them what the White House was facing and how to pray. And then they would even tell them, look, you really need to talk to your congregation because we need you to get them to understand. Like when they wanted you to go along with their agenda, they worked through your pastor. So they did their ultimate networking across this country. This that's happening on social media in 2 months is going to be terrible on every level. Whoever gets in there you might as well say bye, because they're going to be sucked in the matrix. Who knows? Listen, the technology that we know about right now, Bride, which we know President Trump loves, all of this technology. That's why he's pushing the vaccine, because he knows what's in there. But the way that he loves Elon Musk and all that kind of stuff, who knows what is going to be inside that website? I don't even want to think about it. So all I can say, Bryce, you've got to talk to your family. That's all we can do is warn and move forward. Because this is something we're going to look for. What is Facebook, Twitter, and all them going to do when all the Christians do a mass exodus? The Christians, and because they're going to advertise exactly the voice that we want to hear. Here we go. Oh, you want to have free speech, just come over here. We want you to have all the free speech you want. You will not be shut down. President Trump went through it, so he wants you on here so you can just be free as an everlasting bird and just say what you want to say and do what you want to do. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how people are going to be letting all that frustration out? They will have had Biden for 6 months by the time they get this platform. By the time they get this platform, can you imagine the rage that'll be coming out on there? I'm telling you, Bride, angry birds on a stick when they are able to have a free voice. Well, how do I see this year playing out? I have no idea. It is, well, I will tell you this though. I was gonna say I have no idea, but I do kind of, because the Great Reset's definitely gonna happen. We are switching over to the new digital economy, and oh, I do have to make a correction because one gentleman, thank you, sir, sent me an email and said that I was incorrect in my statement about that the U.S. Mint had closed. So he said it wasn't all of them. There's 4 and only 2 have closed. So there's still 2 of them. So thank you, sir, for correcting me. I received it. So anyways, I guess I was wrong in that way. So only 2 of the 4 have closed. Okay, but anyway, going back to the Great Reset. Okay, so the Great Reset, I do see happening this year. For, you know, this year, but for sure next year. But I see it right here. I see great, great, great persecution to the church. A terrible, I mean, of a terrible magnitude. What these people are going through from 0106 is a glimpse into where we're going. These people that defended president, they feel like they defended the one they love. And this should really be a sign to all the other Trump lovers of how terrible this thing is, because they went in there because, hey, not all of them being arrested are the ones that actually went in the building. There's some being arrested that was just there. So they're going there under the obedience to their leader. And their world is being changed forever. And we're talking criminal charges of federal levels. So I think we are going to be, look at there, I've got 3 dislikes. How dare you 3 dislike me? I'm just kidding. I got 48 likes. Would y'all please like this video? But anyway, so I see that we're definitely going to go through a great persecution. And then I see, actually, I see a lot more of the mainstream NAR. I see them coming out and being a little more bolder, because now I believe that they're having the pressure put on them in a terrible way. See, y'all have to understand that they have been able to hide and been able to lie and been able to deceive and do things under the rug. But I think now that the beast is about to be revealed, they are having to come out and be honest. You know, they're having to come out and show their true colors, because now the pressure's on. Because we're either going to do this or we're not. And it's just where we're at now. And so they are having to speak out, and they didn't want to speak out. I can tell you they didn't want to, because now you know these people are fake. They're not real Christians. And so the rubber has met the road. They're being exposed. And so I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And I do see that we are headed for a greater judgment, because now we have a government, sad to say, I hated to report this yesterday, that are making science our God. And that is also what President Trump is doing. And I believe that if he starts this social media, I believe it will be AI on an everlasting stick. He will tell everybody, I have the best social media there ever was. I'll have AI on there, and it will help you, and you have the coolest things you'll be able to do. Because really, if we didn't know what we knew about scripture, all this stuff would be really outstanding, phenomenal, cool. because I've been with technology from the beginning. I would love all this stuff, virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality. Yeah. But because I know what's on the other side of it, I won't touch it because I don't want to get sucked in the matrix. So I have to keep a wall and I have to keep a barrier to a certain point. Do you know what I'm saying? So I can tell you that I can see that coming. I think we are going to see more robots. We're going to see more artificial intelligence come out. And so we may see, like I've been showing you some things of, we'll see a lot more drones and flying in the air, because now they're going to be policing and watching and monitoring. And we're going to see a lot more of robot dogs. They're going to try to make them cute, but Rod, they're not cute. Those things are creepy on a stick. Those things are horrible. We know them things have cameras and everything else. Who knows what they have inside them things? So we're going to see a lot more of robots. We are going to see terrible things of love. And I'm saying this very lightly. I want to be serious, but I don't want to freak you out too much. But I think that right now people are hurting. I'm praying with people left and right. People are hurting so bad. And thus, if they're not if they're not turning their passion to Jesus, they're going to turn it towards robots. They're going to turn that passion towards technology. I saw the saddest thing today of these couples kissing phones, where they're being intimate to one another on the phone, in a virtual way. And it's going to get worse. These people are going to be marrying robots. They're already doing it in Japan. They even have a robot pastor. They worship this thing. They have a robot God that they worship. We're going to see they're making these things so real looking, and that they learn. That's what machine learning is. Machine learning is where this computer, like say if I have a robot like Sophia with me, she will learn me. Okay, she's watching me. She's got these cameras on her chest, that are reading my heart rate, and she can tell what I'm thinking. So she already knows, how can I soothe this woman? Because they're saying that they're going to use these robots to help people that need help, with disabilities. But what they're doing really is just watching you. And probably reporting back everything to the beast, what you're saying, what you're thinking, about your body and everything. And so I see a lot of strange love that's going to be happening, and people going towards terrible things because they're hurting. And remember, I've been telling you, Bride, don't have sex. Don't go out there and do your old fleshly ways, where you resort to going to bars and having sex and the things that you used to do in the days of old, to comfort your sadness. And I also told you, if you're living outside of marriage, whether you're, in a homosexual one, or if you're just living in fornication, or even if you're just living somewhere and it's not right, and it's given the appearance of evil because it's leaving a terrible example to your family, and it's hurting God's name, and you need to get out and stand up for righteousness. You need to do this. You need to walk in holiness, because there's coming a day when they're going to shut everything down. And when they do, you're going to be stuck. And then you may not have a chance, and you will go to hell. That is what the Bible says. It's that way, point blank simple. So we have to, the days are gone with us floating the fence. We've got to cut the head off the snake. That is the snake that is there biting you. You've got to cut that thing off and tell, you know what? I am going to live for righteousness. So you've got to go. I'm not going to live like this and just walk out the door. Just do it. Just go out that door, pack your bags and be gone, and don't look back. Put that sin behind you. Ask God to forgive you. Go to your family, repent, tell your family, I'm sorry. I had to do it. I can tell you it can be done. You go tell your family, I am sorry I did this unholiness, this unrighteousness in front of you. I defamed God's name and I'm sorry. I am asking God to help me. I don't know how to live right now by myself, but God will help me. I am choosing to live righteously in front of God and in front of man. Because in the days to come, bride, it's going to get worse. You need to seek God right now while he may be found. God, the God that we serve, the true Jesus, is holy. He is holy and he is righteous, and he wants us to be consecrated unto him. He wants us to be on fire for him. There is no lukewarm. There is no compromise. And what you are seeing right now happening in the false church is a compromise on a terrible level. And they have sold for a bowl of porridge, you know, that for the few cents, like Judas, they sold us out for a few bits of, you know, coins there. We cannot do this, bride. We have to take a position, and we have to choose that we will serve the Lord no matter what the cost may be. And so you have to get that set in your mind right now. So I see that coming. I see a greater division in the church coming, because these pastors, a lot of them are caving, and people are starting to realize, okay, I'm going to have to make a decision. People have been asking me, bride, left and right, what do I do? What do I ask my pastor? What do I say? And this is what I tell them. So I'm going to tell you publicly. I've already said this before, but I'm going to tell you publicly how to handle your pastor. What you do is you go to your pastor and you sit down with him. You say, okay, listen, I need to know, number one, what is your position on the V? And then he's going to go one of three ways. He's going to say, okay, well, I've already taken it, so I'm cool with it. You'll see, bye. Second, he'll say, well, I'm not really going to tell people what to do about it. So you just make sure you do what you're going to do. And, you know, that to me is really a private thing between you and God. You know, he may just choose to be neutral and not want to address it because he don't want to lose congregation members or whatever. Okay, well, then that would advance you to the next level. And then you may have the pastor that says, absolutely not. Absolutely. Do you know what's in them things? God would never want you to be a hybrid. He would never want you to be tainted like that. So I'm telling you no. Okay, so let's say we're on the last two. Okay, so then you say, okay, here's my next question. All right, so what is your position on eschatology? What do you think is happening right now? Do you see where we're at prophetically? Do you see the world changing? Do you see the unification of UN? You know, do you see that the Antichrist is getting ready to be set on the scene? Like, do you see where we're at? Because then this is how you're going to know who they are, Brad, because they're going to tell you one of a few things. Okay, they're going to tell you that they believe in the pre-trib. Okay, so if they tell you they believe in the pre-trib, here's your next question. Okay, well then, if you believe in the pre-trib, that means that you don't believe that the mark of the beast is being rolled out right now. And then they'll say, that's right, because the rapture hasn't happened yet. And then you can say, okay, well then, do you believe that we should take it then? And then he may say, no, because of what's in it. You know, I don't believe we should have technology on the inside. And then your next question is, well, then how can you believe that it's not? the MOTB. And then he'll say, well, what do you mean? And then you'll say, does the Bible not say that it will connect you to the beast, that you will become one, that you will be, he wants you to be in his image? Isn't that being in his image? You know, and then you would be able to talk to him like that. Or he may say, and there is a lot of them that's saying this, okay, well, I believe in the pre-trib. So I believe that you can do anything right now because the rapture has not happened yet. So go ahead. Yeah. You know, it's just a regular vaccine, just like all of them that's happened before. So yeah, go ahead and do it because rapture hasn't happened yet. And don't worry about a thing. Here's the biggest problem I have with the pre-tribbing, because I used to be this my whole life. The biggest problem I had is they believe they're not going to suffer. Oh, we're going to be out of here before the wrath. You know, we're not going to suffer. And so right now, how can they say that and not say that we're suffering now? We're suffering right now because we are on the outcast out here, you see? So anyway, so talk to him about that. And then the other one on the eschatology, they may say, which is a lot of the NAR believe this. They say, well, okay, all of that happened with Jesus. We don't believe there is an Antichrist. We don't believe that there's anything like that coming. We're not gloom and doomers. We're all positive speaking people. You know, so we believe that Jesus is fixing to come back and set up down in Jerusalem, and we're going to crown our king. This is what NAR believes. And we're going to, you know, we're going to be down there. We're going to partner with all these other religions, you know, because he is setting up his kingdom. We're doing this 7 mountain mandate because we believe that the Christians are going to take over, and we want the people on the highest mountains. And we're all about building the system up. That's what we believe. And then your answer to that would be, well, where does that leave me then? I mean, if you're so busy worried about building the system, you're saving the system, but I'm over here dying. You know, well, what about the suffering? Oh, you're not supposed to be suffering. You know, you're in a prosperity deal. You should be prospering. You shouldn't, if you're suffering, something's wrong with you. That's not the God we serve. You know, it's a totally different. So then you'll know they're NAR and just kick them to the curb. Okay, but then you got the next one. Okay, you got the next one that says, well, here's what I believe, sis. Let's say they tell you, okay, I believe that he is going to come, yes, but he may come mid-trib and he may come post-trib. But I do believe that, you know, we are here in the end of times, and we're about, you know, we are recognizing that the Antichrist is getting ready to be set up and the Christians are going to be martyred. And he may tell you he sees what's coming. And then you'll know. Okay, so you need to know your church's eschatology. Don't let them skirt around it. You ask them, I want to know what you believe. Because what they believe is the narrative of how they preach. You know, because as you know from me as a preacher, I am an end times warning, watchman on the wall preacher. So I'm preaching according to the belief that the Antichrist is going to rise any day now, and it's going to change your world. So we're out of time, and I've got to get you prepared for this. So I've got to teach you this, and I got to teach you that, and I got to prepare you and pray for you and pray that you get healed so that you will be able to hear his voice, because in that day when we don't have each other and we don't have social media, you're going to have to be able to hear his voice so he can say, wake up, Jim. You need to get up and leave right now. They're going to come after you in the morning. So then I know to hear his voice at midnight, get up, leave the house, walk out with nothing but my bag and be gone. And know that I heard the voice of the Lord, because that is the biggest commodity to the church today, is the voice of God. You've got to hear the voice of God right now. Okay, so that's basically it. Ask them about their eschatology. Ask them about what they see. And I would ask them about You know, what are they seeing with President Trump? Because I think that's going to tell you a lot. How do they feel about patriotism? How far do you take the patriotism? Because if they're one of these preachers that excuse everything that man does, you know he's gone. He's already, you know, put man over God. Because we have to be in holiness, bride. He's coming back after a church without spot and wrinkle. So I pray that helped you, sis. Tinder says the hearts of men will grow cold, and that's exactly what's happening today. Yes. And listen here, Tinder, I have to watch my heart to make sure I don't get cold. It's easy. With so much angry birds out here and chomping at you all the time, it's easy to kind of have a little hard heart. Yes, MT, that movie Fallen. I remember that movie. Yes. That's right, Green Eyed. Listen to what she said. There's going to come a great falling away from the faith. Your family will rat you out thinking they are doing God a favor. Guard your hearts and your minds. That's right. Yes, God before patriotism. And let me tell you something about patriotism. I want to set the record straight because I am very much a patriot. Y'all know my story. I've traveled across the country many times, etc., etc. I did 2 national Christian marches. Okay, I feel like we are the biggest patriots because we honor God first. Because let me tell you something, the land hates sin. The land hates all this perversion that's being pushed on it. We're not being a true patriot when we're allowing that vomit to be spewed out on the land all across this country. That was one of the things President Trump did that hurt me so bad, was the way that he did the LGBT. That was disgusting. I cannot believe he did. I can't believe the church partnered with it. I don't get it. I don't get it. They traveled across this country that whole year and a half spewing that all across this country with the church. Dancing to the YMCA. That's what that is, Brian. All across this country for 18 months. The land vomits that out. It is a terrible thing to the land. That is not being a patriot. Being a patriot is honoring God first. Being a patriot is caring about what God thinks and about his eye being upon this land. Do you understand, Brian? I think we're the true patriots because we choose to honor God first and give the land the true representation of what the sons and daughters of God are. Because the Bible says that the land waits, it groans for the true sons and daughters of God to arise. And that's what that is walking in holiness, walking in consecration, and honoring God on the land. That gives him the most honor. And that is a true patriot. Yes, it is, Dee. Yes. I know, wake up. I know it. They are getting ready. The patchy is coming. That has been, I've noticed that in the news coming down the pipe. Which is really sad about Paul Bagley pushing the patch. That was just, I couldn't believe it. But the patch that's coming is going to be just like that, but it's going to be pushing in. It'll have nanobites too, just like he said. Nanobites, I mean. But it will have that luciferase, you know, which is that stuff. Oh no, Mrs. B said that her brother's wife got the shot. That is so sad. Amen, Denise. Well, I guess that's all I have for you, Brad. I guess I'm gonna go home now. I just had to go live because I had to show you about this social media. What a shock this is. Wow, D, I didn't know Pastor Bagley's wife is an RN. Oh. Wow, Cindy never caught on to it. Cindy says about the seal, do you believe there's any connection between the eagle holding arrows but has no bow and the rider of the white horse in Revelation having a bow but no arrows? Well, what do you think that means? And then the next one says TD Jakes to the V with a hat on that said change. What? TD Jakes took the V with a hat on that said change. Let's see if there's a video about it. Biden wears a white horse on his shirt. Wow. Oh, Denise, I'm sorry. I know we're going to be betrayed. Y'all just get ready for that. It's going to happen. All I pray is that I'm on a train with one of y'all. I would love to be on the train and hear somebody on there saying, what a day that will be when our Jesus we will see as we look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace, when he takes me by the hand and leads me through that promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. If I hear somebody on that train singing that song, I'm gonna look back there and say, I got you. I see you. That is our little code that we all have right now. When we're in there, we're going to be singing that song. That way you'll know who's who in there. What was I going to look up? See, I didn't got my mind. Let's see. Yes, Cloud, it's very sad. Oh, that's what we was going to look up. Okay, TD Jakes taking the V. Let's see here. All right, conversation with America. Can we trust the V? Who is in this one? Bishop TD Jakes and Dr. Fauci discussed it. What? What? You are kidding me. What the world? What? How did I not know about it? What? Hey, I'm disappointed in y'all for not sending me this article. I'm just kidding. What the world? Let's check this out. I cannot believe, what is this?
The rush to register residents for the COVID-19 vaccine continues across North Texas. Community-driven pop-up registration events like this expanding in some of Dallas's most vulnerable communities.
Right now, we're in the worst possible situation.
And in a special panel discussion, infection rates, death rates, vaccine access, and distribution challenges, among topics Bishop T.D. Jakes of the Potter's House, Dallas, is discussing with Dr. Anthony Fauci and some of the country's leading scientists on the front lines of the pandemic.
Why should the American people trust this vaccine?
This panel premiering on Bishop Jakes' YouTube channel on Monday.
The work that went into the vaccine development has been happening for several years.
The group acknowledging a certain level of mistrust and misinformation in the public and the government's rollout of the vaccine.
Black and white floors.
We got to make sure that we have multiple ways of getting it distributed.
Dr. Fauci suggests equitable distribution of the vaccine should include hubs in poor communities.
The way we're going to get around that is put it in community centers in the community.
Have you been busy or overwhelmed during this pandemic?
I have.
Dr. Jill Wagoner is a Dallas-based concierge family practice physician and served as Bishop Jakes' co-host on the COVID-19 panel.
Not only am I seeing one patient that's positive, I'm seeing a whole household.
Dr. Wagoner says it's important for folks who are on the fence about the vaccine to do their own research.
We have to have discussions beyond this pandemic to talk about the decisions that are being made.
The panel also exploring when people can expect to get back to some sense of normality. Dr. Fauci says that could take some time. In Dallas, I'm Damon Fernandez.
What the world? I am not believing this. I had no idea. I had no idea. All right, let's see what this
Dr.
is.
Corbett, I'm going to start with you. This vaccine was developed in 9 months. Walk us through the development and the precautions that were taken. What are some of the steps you would have ordinarily taken that you didn't hear? And why should the American people trust this vaccine?
You know, the vaccine was developed before the American people's eyes in 9 months, but the work that went into the vaccine development has been happening for several years, even up to 15 years, even since the first SARS coronavirus started over a decade ago. And so there was a large amount of reference as far as data and preclinical work that happened even prior to this pandemic. And I think it's really good to really highlight that. And as far as this.
Okay, let me pause right here. Boy, this has got me going. Y'all have got me. How dare you? Y'all know how to get me every time. Here I am. Listen here, yo, chat room. I'm rebuking every one of you. Listen to me, because y'all know how to get me going. Y'all know how to round me up. Because listen, I was about to get off here and go home, and now you done got me all fired up. Well, let me tell y'all something about Mr. T.D. Jakes. All right, the thing that went wrong with T.D. Jakes is this. He brought Oprah in years ago. He used to be on fire, and he used to have this great, conference. And it was like in the Pentecostal world, okay? In the Pentecostal world, it was the place to be. Like, his mega fest is what it was. That's it. Well, until one, and this is also where, what's her name was, where she was born, 2 of them from T.D. Jakes, Paula White and Juanita Bynum. Juanita Bynum was the bomb diggity. She was the bomb. She was awesome. She was actually shot up ever since she preached at MegaFest a sermon, I think it was back in 1990, called No More Sheets. It was either 1990 or 2000, but it was called No More Sheets. And it was about her old promiscuous ways and how she used to be with men, and she dragged that old sheet. I mean, she was awesome. She dragged that old sheet up there on the platform, and she was like, no more sheets. She was like, I'm done with these men and all this, and the women in the crowd was, because the Mega Fest is supposed to be focusing on women. So I mean, she just immediately shot up, boy. She was like the one. We used to travel just to watch her. She was awesome. But on a side note, what took her out was a man. It's so sad because she was single and married this man who was a pastor who got jealous of her power. This is the way I see it. He got jealous of her power and beat her down. She ended up abused and they divorced, and she ain't been the same since. It's sad. That's why I'm telling you, women, we've got to watch the anointing on our life. We got to protect it like Fort Knox. Anyway, okay, so back to Paula White. Paula White got big through TD Jakes. And look where she ended up. You know, Paula White was a fireball. They liked her because she, talked in that, Black attitude. And, she was like down to earth. I mean, we used to love her until I went to Bible college. And I'm not even going to go into that. But, and so she ended up divorcing her husband. And then she went up there and moved in with Trump up there in Trump Towers. And that was in the 2000s. And that is what I believe led up to where they're at now. So anyway, TD Jakes, he used to have this mega fest and it was on fire. I mean, it was great until one day he brought Oprah. Just in case y'all don't know about Oprah, the enemy has used Oprah for many years, many. She interviewed President Trump back in the 80s, asking him about being president. She is like that. She has been used with the movers and shakers. So anyways, he brought her in to do the new age in his fest, in Mega Fest, teaching the classes, the demonic classes in his. That is when he went completely and crossed over, was after he did that. It was terrible on every level, and he just started bringing her in every year. He tainted. See, this goes back to the mixing. We cannot mix with other religions. And see, that's what NAR does. NAR tells everybody, you've got to mix, because we want to take over the big mountains. So you've got to get with all the big dogs. You've got to get with the rich people. You got to hang around people that you want to be like. I don't know exactly how they word it, but it's something like you got to hang around people that you want to be. So in other words, the movers and shakers. And because they want the catalyst, they want them on the 7 mountains. They want them to be at the top and not at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, he has Oprah there and it changed him. And that is what happened with TD Jakes. And ever since then, he has just, and look, okay, here's another one that kind of went downhill after he got with her, is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was doing them movies, that was so funny. What was that called? Mama something. And, where he would just crack jokes. It was always around the Lord, the way they would talk, and their movies was always about Christian themes until he got with Oprah. When he got with Oprah and he started working with Oprah, he has went downhill. Now you can't even watch his stuff. It is so perverted. It is gross. And it's sad because I used to laugh so hard at Medea. That's her name, Medea. But now it's so perverted. It's done crossed over. But it's after they partner with Oprah. And so that's just my opinion. But this is really sad. But let's hear a little bit more about what he says.
Particular vaccine. Actually, today marks the date of which we woke up and saw the sequences online for the virus for SARS-CoV-2. and really got to work. And although it's so-called warp speed, there have not been any particular parts of vaccine development that have been skipped along the process. We have a full portfolio of preclinical data surrounding these vaccines, as well as phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 clinical trials for these vaccine development. So what you're seeing is not just a large amount of work that went into it previously.
Angst in the fact that
That's being missed.
Do you have any angst in the fact that you've not been able to evaluate long-term outcomes from the vaccine, or are you fairly comfortable that over long-term, we should have no major complications from it?
No, absolutely no angst at all. You know, one of the things that I think is largely forgotten throughout this is that the first phase 1 clinical trial actually started on March the 16th, which was almost 10 months ago. And so from those people, they've been followed since then, and there are no outcomes for long-term adverse outcomes. And so what you're seeing here is something that not only has previous vaccine development showed us, but as we're collecting data, it's very clear that long-term side effects.
Your peers do to improve the level of trust people of color have in the health system overall, and with this particular vaccine in particular?
Yeah, so Bishop Dick, that's always very concerning, especially because we know that the data clearly shows that racial ethnic minorities have worse outcomes with COVID-19. And so it's disheartening that the group that disproportionately impacted are not seeing the perception that corners where and misinformation and disinformation on social media overall.
So what they have done is got one of the biggest leaders of the Black church to give an approval on this. This is so sad.
Who has really been a national resource on this. Consistent messaging is also critical from respected authorities, the CDC, FDA, public health authorities that people look up to. And also really working on what some people have called vaccine literacy, and really just finding ways to communicate in language that people understand within the appropriate cultural context to get
illnesses and conditions and how the virus reacts to pre-existing conditions. Should we have any kind of concern as it relates to pre-existing conditions in terms of the vaccine? We've heard some things about allergies and so forth. I don't know whether to interpret that as whether you are allergic to pollen in the air, or whether it's allergy.
The results in those racial ethnic groups.
So yeah, let me just chime in there. It really is very important. We put a lot of effort with the Moderna trial. Literally every Saturday at 10 o'clock, we would meet with the leaders of the trial to encourage them to go the extra mile to get minorities involved in the trial, because not only do you want to make sure that it is safe and effective in all the demographic groups, particularly those who have a higher incidence of severe outcomes, which is brown and Black people, for sure, for a number of reasons. We've got to get them
You're saying that right in front of
him. You want to
him.
be able to look at your community of individuals in the minority demographic group and say, we've actually tested the vaccine in you, and it is safe and it's effective in you. Therefore, you should feel comfortable that we're not just doing it in people who we think the vaccine is going to be used for. Right now, as was just mentioned, we got up to 10%, get it to the level understandable. Thing over on us, it goes to the skepticism. Getting vaccinated, they always have to show respect for their skepticism, and then try to get them to understand why it is safe, it is effective, and it is good not only for your own health, but for your families and your community.
Turning God, pressure with Bishop T and Pastor. When was this?
Come on, give it up for this red jacket.
I wonder if they're going to talk about it.
I love you back. Excited to hear you talk for the next 7 hours.
3 and a 500,000 views on this, Brad. When? I want to know the date on this. Oh, this was 2019. Oh. What the?
Dr. Corbett, I'm going to start with you. This vaccine was
Wow, he's done a lot on this. Virus or vaccine, this is on his Facebook. Look at that. Was he on topic or what?
everybody.
There you go.
How are you doing? You can hear me? And if I'm loud enough. Come on in the room. Come on in the Come on in the Come on. Come on.
Thomas, that is funny.
Come on in the room.
Testing, testing. Okay.
Come on in the room.
No, that's his volume. It's going down, not mine.
What's up, Valerie? Valeria. Tisha, what's going on? Come on in. Raquel. Lola, come on in.
Daylin, you're funny. All right, let's see if he
Yes.
finally talks.
Well, let me get started. I have in whatever way I could, encouraged and inspired and motivated, upbeat through what has been a very tough year, tough period. And I'm getting ready to do something different. I'm gonna talk to you about it in a minute. So many things to talk about. What about yesterday? See, the sound is coming in and out. Let me fix that. Let me try to fix that. I'm gonna get let's see if that makes it better or worse.
Okay, I guess that's not a
And I'm
good
gonna
thing.
take a look at the questions.
Well, that's really sad, Brad. I just hate it. For the people not to see through this, it's really sad. Faith in the vaccine. He is. Trump is in Israel right now. I know, I saw that too, D. Brant. Let's see, easy. Let's see. Trump. How do you know he's in Israel? I don't see it up here. Yeah, he used to really be a great preacher. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. That song's on my spirit. I saw the light, no more in darkness, no more in night. Now I'm so happy, so no sorrows to bear. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. All right, I don't see anything current that he's in Israel, so I don't know where you're getting that info. Oh, that's in videos. Okay, let's try over here. Donald Trump's legacy in Israel. Has Trump been good for Israel? Okay, Israel and the shameful, dangerous final days of Trump. Trump releases Mideast peace deal that strongly favors Israel. Well, duh. All right, let's see what the New Yorker is saying. You like that song too? Oh, that's awesome, Daylan. Trump's legacy in Israel. Oh, there's his Trump page, yeah. I don't feel like reading all that, Bride. I'm too tired. I want to tell you, Miss Dolly, that I got a lot of compliments over your little doll where I did an illustrated sermon with Curly's girlfriend. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Dolly, I just want you to know something. Curly and his little girlfriend, they got married today. I did an illustrated sermon about being with somebody outside marriage and then being with them in marriage. So little Miss Curly over here, her and Curly got married. And now she's right with God. So I just want you to know you got a lot of compliments today about my illustrated sermon. It was funny. But yeah, I do see that, Bride, from the social media that's coming. I do see a bunch of angry birds. That's what I see coming. This social media is going to be nothing but a social media of angry birds. These people are going to have an avenue to let it out how they've been feeling. So they're going to be pouring it out, let me tell you. You know, it is cute. She did a really good job. You know, where they will be able, where they think, and you know what's really sad is they think they've got free speech and that his social media will be the avenue for free speech. Bride, it will not. You have to understand the UN. Hey, by the way, Bride, I've got some good news. I've got some good news. Okay. Let's go over here to the World Economic Forum. So we're going to go to weforum.org. All right, now, this Global Technology Governance Summit, we are hosting that here in our office. We paid for this, so we are going to do just like we did the Vaccine Congress. We paid for the Vaccine Congress, the rights in order to do the Congress, and now We're doing the same thing for this one. And we are hearing back from you, Brad. You are coming in for this conference. And I'm excited because we only have 20 spots. But I mean, if we get enough people, we can rent a facility to do this in, but it would cost us, I think, $250 a day, but for right now, I'm gonna limit it to just 20 where we can fit them in the office here. But here's the deal. I think this summit is going to be key to what's coming next because it has to do with technology governance. We know this has to do with AI. So what is going to happen? Now this is dated. Let's click in here. All right, this is dated April 6th and 7th. Okay, now our conference, let's go here to wearethebride.us. All right, this is our church website. This is for all of our family here. And this one's our We Are the Bride website. You can see all kinds of stuff on here, our invitation. I've got to put the new one up there. Our latest sermons. And then about us as a family, our events, Brock's book, my video, my book. Okay, so scroll back up. And let's go up here to events, right? And so you click on events. And then we scroll down. By the way, all of y'all that come, okay, here's the deal. You need to be here on Thursday. If you're coming to the conference, you need to be here on Thursday because the conference starts on Friday morning. Okay, and the conference is only $20. So the conference is Friday morning. We're going to have 3 services that day. We're going to have a 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and a 6 o'clock. Okay, so come in on Thursday. It starts on Friday, and then it's all day Saturday. And then Saturday morning, we're doing something pretty cool. Saturday morning, we're doing a roundtable with Steve and Yana, with Brock and Laura and me. And y'all, this will be open to the public. You will be able to ask questions. It will be a Q&A. Y'all love it when we do those. Yes, we got 99 likes. All right. Way to go, Brad. I'm proud of y'all tonight. So anyway, after y'all done got me going, okay, so Saturday morning, we're going to do the Q&A, and y'all really like that because you can ask anything and then we'll answer anything. And that is on Saturday morning. And then Saturday afternoon, we're going to have the baby shower here for Brock and Laura. Can you believe that Samuel is almost here? I get to meet my grandson in May. I'm so excited. I feel like I already know him because we did one baby shower when we was out of town in Branson, Missouri. And let me click in here. We did this little baby shower. We did one of them in Branson, and this one is for our local peeps and for the ones that are able to come in for this conference. So y'all will be able to be a part of this and us celebrating Samuel. And let me tell you, all you ladies, to you that have registered to come, if you would like to head that up, that would be great. I know some of you have giftings of decorating and stuff. Please contact me because I need help. Okay, so we'll do Brock and Laura's shower there. And then we're going to do the conference, right? And the conference is going to be Saturday morning. Then we have the baby shower. After the baby shower, Steve and Yana have the whole afternoon. Ever how long they want to take, and they can talk to us. Okay, so that is Saturday afternoon. And then Sunday morning, Brock and Laura is doing the very first Easter service, the resurrection service. And I'm so excited about it because it's our church's first one. And we get to be in such a beautiful facility. Let me show you this facility. It is the library. It's actually called the livery. Delivery, let's see, Winchester, that's the town I'm in here. Okay, Winchester, Tennessee. Look at this beautiful facility, Bride. Looky here. There it is. Let's go back over here and go into their website. Okay. All right, this is the Winchester Downtown Association. And here you go. Look how pretty. It's just one big open room with these beautiful tables. And then it's got the beautiful, brick walls. It's just one big open conference. That kind of looks like my front door here. And hey, if y'all ladies that can decorate want to help decorate for this conference, that would be great. Okay, look, and so we have a nice big screen with nice speakers and system. And I am believing God for a worship team. Would y'all please pray for me? I would love to have a worship team or somebody that can come and lead worship. All right, let's continue. Look, there it is, so pretty. And so I'm excited about doing that. And then so Sunday, Brock will preach there, and we'll actually do Easter there. And if I could, I would love to do Bride Fest there sometime. I would love to do Bride Fest. I mean, I would like to do another one. Maybe we can plan one in the future where we can do a Bride Fest there and do like a big banquet style and make it really nice. That would be nice. Okay, so there it is. And I'm excited. So, okay, so you come Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then, we'll preach and pray. And then people, can be delivered and healed and meet up with fellow believers. And we can all encourage one another and get to know one another on a more personal level. Okay, and then Monday and Tuesday, you can rest or kind of, visit Nashville and kind of just have you some fun. But on Thursday, Wednesday, and Thursday is when we're going to do that global conference. Okay, so I'm just telling you, Bride, it would be great to have you. Go to the website here, wearethebride.us, and you just go to events and you'll see it there. Or you can just see it on the front page, the WATB Spring Conference. All right, and we do have also on Facebook, we have an event and everything else. So I would love to have you, Bride. And let's see here. I would love if we could put a little centerpiece on the tables. It'd be pretty for the conference. But I'm excited about doing the little baby shower. Well, Bride, that's all I have for you today. I guess I'm finished. Unless y'all have anything else you want to keep me up all night for. Y'all know how to get me going. Don't tell me there's a preacher pushing the V and then I'll be like, no way, it can't be. What the world? So I will talk to y'all later, Bride. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow morning. We go back to our BAM in your face devil Bible study at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so I will talk to you later. God bless.